NDP leader Jagmeet Singh today visiting Justin Trudeau's riding of Papineau in Montreal to slam the Liberal government's agreement with Canadian grocers to stabilize some food prices, something Liberals promised would come before Thanksgiving. Their announcement, though, short on specifics, details, timelines on where you might actually see savings or won't, as the case may be. So is the government meeting its own mark on this one? Some leading food experts have said not much is going to change regardless of government spin. Let's bring in the MPs to debate it. Liberal Ryan Turnbull, he is the parliamentary secretary to the industry minister. He's in Ottawa today. Great to have him with us. Melissa Lantsman, the deputy leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Great to have her. Peter Julian, the House leader for the New Democrats as well. Okay, Melissa, you go first on this. Your take on the government's plan a day later. The aftermath, Thanksgiving's almost here.
Well, there's one thing that I agree with in that last clip is that this was a ridiculous promise from the onset to reduce or stabilize or whatever they want to say now prices before Thanksgiving. It's not going to happen. They had a fancy announcement in September. They had another press conference where the minister was perusing flyers in the morning about the cost of groceries, saying that they had magically gone down. Turkey is up 67% in this country. Potatoes are up 47%. Peas at 22%. There is one thing that they can both do, both Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh, who continue to vote to raise the carbon tax, to reduce grocery prices, and that is axe the carbon tax. We're even seeing now a Liberal agree with that, and there's many more that tell their communities back home that they're against the carbon tax and come back to Ottawa to vote to increase it.
Yeah, we're going to get to that Liberal MP from Newfoundland later in the show. To you, Peter, step in the right direction or a whole lot of hot air?
Oh, it's a whole lot of hot air, and we've seen prices go up both under the Conservatives. We saw the Harper government that Pierre Poilievre was involved with that basically did nothing about the bread price fixing scandal. Prices rose 25%. Under the Conservatives, under the Liberals, they've risen 30%. You simply can't make progress on gouging by asking politely corporate CEOs like Galen Weston to stabilize their prices. You have to have real muscle, and the federal government needs to improve the Competition Bureau's ability to intervene on whether we're talking about the bread price fixing scandal or what we've seen now. There's the incredible, outrageous raising of prices and gouging of Canadians, and Jagmeet Singh has tabled a bill to do just that. So Jagmeet Singh has is walking the talk, and parliamentarians will be asked in the coming weeks to vote on that bill, and we're certainly hoping that Liberals and Conservatives will actually support the kind of initiative that's going to make a difference and stop this outrageous gouging of Canadian consumers.
Ryan, I interviewed a top food industry analyst as the minister, François-Philippe Champagne, making the announcement on Thursday, and the expert was very skeptical about your government's plan. He said he didn't think it was going to do much here. Where's the beef, so to speak? Give us your take.
Well, I think we called in the top CEOs of the largest grocery chains across the country, which is a first time ever, and we really put them to the test to say, let's join us as a government in making life more affordable for Canadians. And to me, that's what our government should be doing. It's standing up for the 40 million Canadians that have been telling us time and time again that they're struggling with the price of groceries. And I think the CEOs of those companies really understood that they have a public trust issue, and that's very clear from, I think, evidence and statistics out there that show. I was on the Agriculture and Agri-Food Standing Committee, and it was very clear to us that the grocery chain CEOs understood that they had a trust issue with the public. So I think naturally they're going to start to compete to freeze prices, reintroduce price matching where it hasn't been in place, and to identify a basket of goods that they can offer some discounts on specific items. Those, to me, are tangible signs of progress. They've submitted action plans to the government, and now they're going to be competing in the days and months ahead to come up with plans that justify to Canadians and demonstrate to Canadians that they really care about the affordability crisis and the struggles that Canadians are going through right now.
Back to you,
To
Melissa.
me, that's bold action.
Melissa, your read on that?
Look, this is a government that came back after the summer that realized we are in a cost of living crisis that we have actually been in for 8 years, supported, of course, by the NDP, who continue to vote to increase taxes on the farmer who grows the food, on the trucker who transports the food, on the retailer who sells the food, and inevitably on the families that are buying the food. This is more flashy announcements, and we all know that we cannot eat announcements and we cannot eat photo ops. And this is actually going to do very little, nothing, to actually reduce the price in grocery stores. They have raised the cost of living. They have raised the price of gas, groceries, home heating, right across the board. That's what happens after 8 years of a Liberal government, and it's certainly, Canadians are starting to realize that it is not worth the cost.
When you hear about things like price freezes, Peter, and price matching, I mean, there are those who say, look, this is already standard industry practice. So there's, maybe some tweaking around the margins going to go on, but it's not really going to make much of a difference. What's the number one thing you would like to see?
The prices need to come down. I mean, we saw this under the Harper government. The average Canadian consumer family was robbed of $400 in the bread price fixing scandal, and the Harper government and Mr. Poilievre did absolutely nothing to stop it. And I understand Ms. Landsman is refusing to use the word price fixing or price gouging. She tries to change the subject every time this comes up. It's because Conservatives have not said one word in the House of Commons about the egregious prices that Canadians are paying, because these CEOs are able to fix whatever price that they want to put in place. And this has had a profound impact on Canadian families struggling to make ends meet and to put food on the table. So we have the Liberals now asking politely. The Conservatives did nothing about it. And the last 16, 17 years have been profoundly disturbing for most Canadians. We've seen a lack of affordable housing, and now we're seeing basically the grocery chain CEOs acting with impunity. We need to enhance the Competition Bureau's ability to crack down on this price gouging. Most Canadians want to see that, and I'm hoping that we'll see Conservative and Liberal MPs actually step up for Canadians and vote yes for Jagmeet Singh's bill when it comes to a vote in the coming weeks.
Ryan, you rightly point out that the industry minister has said, look, this is just the first step. We're going to be monitoring, we're going to be taking a look, and we're not afraid to push harder if it comes to that. But how far is the government willing to go on this when it comes to making sure that prices stabilize and go down? What are you willing to do?
Well, I mean, I think the ultimate test here is how Canadians respond to the things that the grocery chains put in place as a result of those action plans. And I think if Canadians are still feeling much the same way, then our government's going to have to take additional measures. We've said that nothing is off the table. I think the minister was very clear about that. So has the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Finance. So all of us are, I think, aligned that if we have to do more, we will. I think the thing that we are priding ourselves in right now is I don't think we asked nicely. I think we came to the table and gave the grocery chains an opportunity to really act for the public interest and prove to Canadians that they wanted to address the affordability challenges that Canadians are feeling. So to me, I think that's a responsible first step. Give them an opportunity to address the issues that Canadians are feeling. And we were really standing up for the 40 million Canadians that are, time and time again expressing just how challenging it is right now. So, and we care about, our constituents, as all MPs should.
This has become a very big political issue, Melissa, right now.
Of course it has. And there's one thing that's very clear. They have been there for 8 years. And the only coincidence that we have right now is that since the NDP joined in this coalition with the Liberals, grocery prices have gone up 20%. That is the inconvenient truth that nobody is talking about on this panel. And they blame everybody else, and they bring the CEOs to Ottawa to have a big fancy announcement. And then they follow up with another big fancy announcement. And we have record food bank use in this country, and Canadian families that are going to be cutting down on their Thanksgiving dinners. It was a ridiculous promise from the start, and it has not been solved. And it's only now. It is only now that the Liberals and their NDP coalition partners have decided that we are in a cost of living crisis, one that they are driving with their inflationary deficits and their carbon tax increases.
We're going to have to leave it there. Melissa Landsman, Peter Julie, and Ryan Turnbull joining us from Ottawa, from Vancouver, New Westminster, of course, and Toronto as well. Thanks so much for this. Great to see all three of you. Have a great long weekend as well.
Happy Thanksgiving.